And it's another episode of Afroshowbiz News, the show that keeps you in the know about all things art and entertainment from around the African continent. Now, to keep in touch, feel free to email us at afroshowbiznews@sabc.co.za. Also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @AfroShowbizNews. Let's have a look at stories making headlines this week. The Cordoba African Film Festival screens 7 South African films. It takes place in Spain. The second international cartoon gathering is currently taking place in Egypt. And Ghanaian photographer challenges stereotypes about African women through the lens. Art and history enthusiasts have had the rare opportunity to see American artist Jacob Lawrence's entire vision of the Great Migration at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. This series takes a look at the migration of 6 million African Americans from the rural South to the urban North of the United States of America. Lawrence's series is part of a new exhibition called One Way Ticket, Jacob Lawrence's Migration Series and Other Visions of the Great Movement North.
The centerpiece, the very heart of the show, is Jacob Lawrence's Migration Series, which he made in 1941 when he was just 23 years old.
Shortly after Lawrence completed his Migration Series, the 60-panel series split apart. Half was acquired by the MOMA in New York and the other by the Phillips Collection in Washington, D.C. The series details poverty and a promise for a better future the North held for millions of African Americans fleeing the South.
One of the things that I want people to do when they come to the exhibit is to see what an incredible work the Migration Series is, that it touches on different emotional tonalities between scenes of great tenderness and intimacy and scenes of terror and violence, that all throughout the subjects that Lawrence portrays, the figures he portrays, act with a kind of quiet dignity in the face of what is a very difficult journey from the South to the North.
The exhibition at the MOMA coincides with the centennial anniversary of the start of the mass migration. The Great Migration had a huge demographic impact. It's one of the biggest demographic events in the United States history. The exhibition also offers other artistic accounts of the movement, including novels and poems by celebrated authors such as Langston Hughes and Richard Wright. Music from Duke Ellington is also explored. Also included is a rare videotape performance of Billie Holiday singing Strange Fruit. Tourism authorities in Tunisia are confident that the country is safe to visit regardless of the security concerns by tourists. Visitors are coming back to Bardo Museum following the attack. The museum was recently attacked by militants who left 21 people dead, but tourists are slowly going back to the museum despite major tourism companies cancelling their bookings.
The Bardo, which has a famed collection of art and artifacts covering more than 3,000 years of history, held a ceremonial reopening and is now fully functional. A commemorative plaque beside the museum's entrance bears the names of the 20 tourists and 1 policeman who perished. Officials at the museum say there has been a steady stream of tourists. Some tourists waited patiently for the museum to reopen after they found it closed following the attack.
This is a very famous museum, so all the people...
This is a very famous museum and everyone comes here. The day we arrived here, we knew about the attack. So it was closed. So after a few weeks of closure, we're back again.
Okay. So here is closed. So after 2 weeks, we come back again.
This French couple did not let the incident put them off.
We planned to come on a trip to Tunisia to discover Tunisia 2 months ago, and we are doing what we planned. We are here in Tunisia and we look forward to supporting the Tunisians.
During the reopening ceremony, Tunisians came out to urge tourists to show solidarity and support their fledgling tourism industry.
I got the shivers, particularly when I saw all the flags of the people. You can't avoid thinking about all those people. But that's precisely what made us more determined to come here, to support the Tunisians during this difficult time. Unfortunately, other countries have also experienced this. Spain, France, and now Tunisia. We have to support each other and continue.
This Tunisian man was with his daughter in the museum when the attack happened. He returned to find a trail of destruction.
The fact is that I left the attack safely, especially after I saw the bullet marks upstairs. It's like a rebirth.
And that's exactly what Tunisia tourism industry needs, a new beginning in order to attract tourism. Tunisia's president has urged tourists to keep visiting. He insists that his government is taking measures to beef up security. Despite this, observers say the attack will further negatively affect tourism. The industry has been struggling since the revolution in 2011. Tunisia is listed as one of the top 20 destinations for 2015 by the National Geographic Traveler. But the latest attack has dented this image, and it will take a while to rebuild the tourism industry.
The second international cartoon gathering is currently taking place in Egypt, Cairo. The event displays artwork that sheds light on health-related issues such as addiction, smoking, and pollution. Let's have a look. The International Cartoon Gathering is organized by the Egyptian Association for Caricature together with the Culture and Health Ministries. Cartoons on display shed light on problems such as addiction, smoking and pollution. Taking place over a period of 6 days, it showcases works of art by over 300 artists from 60 countries. Artists taking part use their caricatures to create awareness on issues such as negligence in hospitals, contaminated blood bags and water pollution. Artist and critic Ibrahim Henata, member of the committee that chose the work displayed at the gathering, said this year's event focuses on cartoons that are not accompanied by captions, adding that strong pictures speak for themselves.
The gathering was an idea that I proposed to the foreign culture sector because I was on the judging committee of a gathering in Bulgaria similar to this initiative. I was the only Egyptian judge on the committee at this competition, so I proposed to the foreign cultural relations sector, and it was put into effect by the Egyptian Committee for the Caricatures. Last year we held the first gathering, and its theme was Egypt in the eyes of the artists of the world. This time, in the year 2015, health is the theme.
Located at the Egyptian Opera House, the gallery displays some 850 cartoon pieces. Among them is the artwork of Amina Al-Hamadi from the United Arab Emirates.
The gathering is something to be proud of because Egypt is a civilization hub and is a pioneer with art. Egypt has provided this congregation as artists to gain expertise from other collaborating artists.
The event also offers a number of workshops of caricature fans presented to them by 4 artists from Italy, the event's country of honor this year. We will now go for a quick ad break. Stay tuned.
Get the scoop on what really happens at the SABC, straight from us. Read our cover story to experience the world through the eyes of Bonang Mateba. Get to know the fresh faces of our new primetime telenovela Uzalo. And join in the 50th birthday celebrations of Mungana Lonene FM and Palapala FM. All in the latest issue of Evoke magazine. Don't miss out. Get yours at sabcevoke.co.za or download the app and stand a chance of winning a double ticket to the 2015 Belgian Grand Prix.
Morning is when different people take different directions to different places for different reasons to do different things. Streets come alive. Evening is when people go home to their loved ones and turn to South Africa's most watched and trusted evening news. Because we keep the nation fully informed. We are SABC News.
welcome back. The event titled the Cordoba African Film Festival will be screening 7 South African films and they take place in Spain. The festival will run from the 20th to the 27th of July.
We then went into government with our previous oppressors and had to wage a struggle within government.
South Africa will be the main focus at the African Film Festival of Cordoba, a festival devoted to African cinema. This year, 7 South African films will participate in 3 sections of the festival: a competitive category, non-competitive section, and the best foreign language documentary section.
Yeah, Mr. Government, what's really happening? Miners on the road and you keep on buying more. You buying guns for war, but you can't feed the poor. Yes, Mr. Government, life's still harder than you can't imagine, man. 10 years of freedom and the town is slowly dying while we're trying hard. Corrupt politicians don't care about the cause. They eat the whole cake cause they all about the law.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Strangers.
The African Film Festival of Cordoba, celebrating its 12th anniversary, has managed to attract more festival goers each year, with a panoramic trip across 32 different countries, loyal to its aim to contribute to a better understanding of the neighboring continent through its cinema.
All the people that are meant to be together. Do you want to love me? Do you want to love me?
Don't start something that you're gonna regret.
South African films and documentaries that will be featured at the festivals are Love the One You Love by Gina Ketobas, Stories of Our Lives by Jim Chuchu, and Security by Mark Middlewick will be participating in a long-sightedness category. Other films are Tales from the Past by Richard Paklepa, Behind the Rainbow by Jihan El Tari, and Myth and Me by Kalu Matabani will be participating under documentaries.
Society usually paints women as people who are supposed to make less money than men, let alone partake in politics and other jobs that are often associated with men. Now, Ghanaian photographer Nana Kofi Akwa challenges the stereotype that portrays women as afflicted human beings, but also appreciates the unique qualities and their strengths. The Ghanaian photographer and blogger calls himself a feminist, and he says he wants to change the perception that the world views African women as always struggling.
Akwa has traveled through Africa taking pictures of men and women in different settings, at home, at work and at play. In his home country Ghana, he often takes pictures by the beach. Accra, the capital of Ghana, is one of the most strong and developed economies in Africa. Yet women here face the same social and economic challenges like in many other less diverse parts of the world.
Normally when you bring up the issue of African women, it gets politicized. You know, you get, I mean, in fact, I use the word feminism for myself very loosely. I am not technically a feminist. There are so many ideologies out there. I have only one concern. I want women to be treated better. I want them to get their fair share of society's cake.
Akwa says African women most of the time are portrayed as tough, like beasts of burden, and that portrayal has created its own negative stereotypes. He hopes his work can make a difference and he refuses to be called an activist.
A photographic exhibition titled In Search Of by Musa Nxumalo is bodies of work which, according to the artist, looks at the melting pot that is urban youth culture in Johannesburg. He's recently been shortlisted as one of the final 10 candidates for the prestigious First Book Award out of more than 300 nominated photographers. And we now have him in studio to tell us a bit more about his exhibition. Hello, Musa, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. So, first and foremost, tell us a bit about what your exhibition is all about.
So basically, In Search Of is 2 bodies of work that comes from a big project that I did called In Search Of. And it looks at youth cultures, and it's also part of a self-portrait looking at my background, and just talking about youth today and what we are about.
All right, now Musa, but why youth culture? What makes this exhibition unique?
Yeah, well, I think it's you know, as the statement says, it's something that I'm also like immersed in, you know, so I was always interested in talking about my background and where I come from, and then just giving an insider viewpoint, you know. The practice of photography has always, you know, been about, we understand photographers usually coming into the communities and talking about what they see in the communities. It's very rare that you find photographers or voices from the community telling the world about what we are about, you know, so my project is basically about that, you know, so it's someone from the inside telling the world about our lives.
All right, and now something exciting. You've been shortlisted for the first book award.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Basically, it's an annual competition that is done by Mac Book Publishing.
Yeah.
So basically, they would choose nominators in different regions around the world to nominate projects that they feel are strong for or ready for being published, you know. So I got nominated by it's Joe Ratcliffe and Sean O'Toole. So yeah. Yeah.
So now, Musa, you also actually launching a book in a few weeks to come. So tell us what that is all about.
Yeah, so basically I won't be launching it because basically the award is
my apologies.
Yeah, so the award is basically, if I get it, I would be getting a publishing deal, you know.
Okay.
So but then the idea is that whether or not we get the award, and then me and the gallery will see how we get to publish the book.
All right, and then maybe what were some of the the challenges that you faced when you were putting together your exhibition?
I think, you know, the work has existed like for quite some time. It's something that I've been working on for the past 4 years, you know, and so I think it was a matter of what is it that we include on the exhibition, you know, because it's something like we had to think about what is it that we're going to include in the exhibition and what we will be leaving out for the book, you know. So those are some of the challenges, and also just, you know, designing the first book, you know, it was quite challenging, but I had a great team that I was working with Smack Gallery, you know, so it was quite like an exciting challenge, you know, so yeah.
All right, Musa, thank you so much for coming, and we hope that you do bring back that award, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay. Now, you are still watching Afroshowbiz News. Now, if you've missed any of our shows, be sure to catch them on our YouTube channel by simply searching for Afroshowbiz News. Time now for another ad break. Don't go anywhere.
Bones, the man with silky vocals that had many viewers captivated from his very first audition, now holds the title of King of South African Idols Season 10.
I came from the streets, so I was a bit rough. So when I got to Boys Town, I started teaching myself playing piano with two fingers. Well, that's how I started with music. So I started getting interested in piano, and then I started, you know, singing.
He's a loving father, loving husband, and he makes us happy.
Bophelong, your show about those who took on and conquered life's challenges. Every Saturday at 17:30 CAT.
Azafanmi has come a long way from her relatively humble beginnings as an apprentice to some of Egypt's most renowned jewelers over the past 40 years. Her unique blend of traditional and modern jewelry design, Fanmi has created an international brand and is one of the country's best-known entrepreneurs.
Fami's brand grew and now has almost 190 workers in her Cairo factory, workshop and design studio. She says her first designs were a few small rings that were sold at her first exhibition. Egyptians are now decorating themselves with rings and necklaces made by traditional jewelers. Fami currently works with her 2 daughters and says she learned about craft at a popular local market, Khan al-Khalili, instead of going to university.
Instead of going to study for 4 years in university, I said I should rather go and learn this craft. I stayed 2 years in Khan al-Khalili and I learned the basics of the craft.
Her inspiration comes from Egyptian folk culture, pharaonic design, scriptures that characterize Arabic customs, as well as Ottoman influences. Skilled craftsmen at the other Fami factory use different techniques such as lace and hand piercings to turn those traditions into radical designs. The jewelry is large and heavy, embedded with detail and precious stones. Unlike her mother, Amina Gali studied at a British university before joining her mother's business to inject her vision. She is aware of her competitors and yet she is not shaken.
What is good is that the Egyptian market is starting to revitalize itself over the past 10 years. People always tell me, but you have a lot of competition. That is a good thing. Competition is a good thing. It is a very healthy thing because it makes me want to do my job better.
Fami has also opened her own design studio to help others become skilled jewelers. The studio offers students and entrepreneurs a specialized jewelry design and making course that teaches all aspects of jewelry and metal smithing techniques. Her online store sells her products to clients in Australia, the United States and Europe. Fami's work has also been featured at London and New York Fashion Week and in collaborations with leading international designers. Her jewelry is also popular among celebrities, with pop stars Rihanna and Jill Stone spotted wearing her iconic designs.
A step forward towards the promotion of literature was taken from the first bilingual isiXhosa dictionary in almost 30 years was released by the Oxford University Press, Southern Africa. isiXhosa is a language spoken in the Eastern Cape in South Africa. The bilingual dictionary will assist Xhosa-speaking children who are learning in English at school, as well as anyone who wants to learn the language. More than 35 experts in both languages contributed in the making of the dictionary. Chief Mandla Mandela shared his sentiments of the importance of preserving vernacular languages.
We see this as important so that we can teach the younger generation about our own languages, so that vernacular languages will not be forgotten.
The Oxford Bilingual School Dictionary is the first of its kind to have been made. Learner Musa Nojaduka said she has been waiting for this type of dictionary.
I feel very happy that it will help better my knowledge of the Xhosa language.
Steve Celius, MD of the Oxford University Press Southern Africa, was also one of those who were in attendance.
Bilingual dictionaries are essential when you work in an environment which is multilingual. For learners who speak isiXhosa as a home language, most of them will have to learn their core curriculum subjects in English, and at the same time there are lots and lots of children who are going to be learning isiXhosa as a second language, and Oxford University Press is about supporting language.
At the launch, 600 copies of the dictionary were donated to the Nelson Mandela Institute for Education and Rural Development. This is an Eastern Cape-based NGO working with rural communities to create rich classrooms that promote literacy. The Alma Chamber Orchestra will be performing for the first time in South Africa as part of their world tour. The orchestra was created in May 2013 by the Alma Mostra Foundation and the President Zahir Bodemach. The tour is titled the World Tour for Unity and will include a series of concerts featuring acclaimed Alma Chamber Orchestra. The orchestra is composed of 58 musicians from some of France's top classical orchestras and instrumentalists pursuing careers all over the world. It promotes humanitarian values through music. The Tour for Unity is presented by the Ikovets Family Foundation and the Alma Nostra Foundation in Paris. Ivo Ikovets, founder of the Ikovets Family Foundation and sponsor, says they are striving for a more peaceful, tolerant and prosperous world. We've now come to the end of our program, but catch the show repeat every Saturday at 19:30 and the repeat at 2:30 and again at 1:30 on Sundays. We'll be playing out with Hugh Masekela. Now, Masekela has received an honorary doctorate award from the Rhodes University. This award recognizes both his remarkable contribution to the South African music and around the world. From me and the rest of the team, it's goodbye.